want to do a quick recap of last night's debate. I have to say that it was a complete disgrace to our country, and I'm ashamed that we have to watch that and understand that the fate of the country is based off of what we saw. I think that President Trump was acting like a fifth grade bully, and he was so ridiculous and unacceptable that Joe Biden was able to slip in his greasy lies throughout the entire thing, and he managed to still come out looking like the better person, even while doing it. I don't think that I can, in good conscience, vote for either of these dudes. And after the way that Trump behaved, I feel like there's a level of presidentialness that needs to be there. He was absolutely not displaying that last night. He was throwing a lot of stuff at Joe that was true, and yet it fell flat because he was being such a dick in the process of delivering it. And Joe was able to slide in things, unacceptable lies. A couple of the keynote lies that he was able to throw in unhindered would be definitely saying that Antifa is an idea and not an organization. Now, I believe that Joe Biden probably literally doesn't know. I think that Joe Biden is probably naive enough that he really doesn't know. He doesn't know that you can get on YouTube and you can pull up basically any riot that's happening across the country, and you will see Antifa graffiti. You will see them wearing their uniforms. They've got matching uniforms, flags, chants, signs. Antifa is absolutely an organization. There are videos of them all gathering around the backs of moving vans and different vehicles and pulling signs and things out of trucks. Antifa, and I'll say the same thing for the organization Black Lives Matter, are both absolutely organizations. And they are no less organizations that are racist and evil organizations, just like they were trying to get Trump to say about white supremacist organizations, which is absolutely true. Trump should have condemned those last night, which he awkwardly did with the Proud Boys. But why would Trump not get up there and say unequivocally, we do not support white supremacists. White supremacists have no place in the discourse of this country. He could have said that, but he didn't. He kind of acted like, well, who do you want me to condemn? So he condemned the Proud Boys, which are a very fringe group that they're not anywhere near on the level of like causing terror and destruction like Antifa is. So that's number one lie. Number two, that Trump just completely, he's going to come across, watch the media today. Trump is going to come across as if saying that he thinks that racial sensitivity courses are insane and that they are stupid. And he's going to say, that's what the media is going to frame what he said. And in actuality, what Chris Wallace had asked was a question regarding critical race theory and racial sensitivity. He lumped the two of them together, which is absolutely inaccurate. And it's very important that those two are held in distinction from each other. So critical race theory is 2020 racism. Critical race theory is teaching people on a level to be racist from the get-go, just by looking at the color of skin. It's setting it up. I say that if you are an intelligent racist, if I were an intelligent racist, what I would do is, there's that expression, you teach a man to, or you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Critical race theory is teaching people how to be racist. It's telling you to look at the color of skin right off the bat. And it's setting it up identitarianism, like what Hitler did, where you separate people according to their nationality and their skin color and determine one is better than the other. And then what you do is, the way that critical race theory does it is they set it up oppressor versus oppressed. The oppressor is anybody with white skin. So you're teaching people in business settings, in the military, in schools, that anybody with white skin automatically is an oppressor. So they're automatically one, that's the first level of racism. The second level, and this is, I believe, worse than old school racism. Old school racism was like, I hate you because the color of your skin, I don't like it. This is a type of racism where somebody comes up alongside of somebody with a skin color different from your own, and you say, you know what? It's a shame, but the white man is superior because of his skin color, and anybody else that doesn't have white skin, they're always going to be inferior. They're always going to be victims to the white man. They're only just going to be second best because your skin color isn't white. So what you're doing, what this intelligent, deceitful, deceiving racist is doing, is he's implanting the idea within your own brain, if you don't have the skin color of white, to believe for yourself that a different skin color is better than yours, and that your skin color for yourself is inferior to somebody else's. This is racism, 2020 racism. It's teaching people how to think in racist ways, as racists. It's teaching them how to think of themselves either as, I'm going to look at this person and call them evil because of their skin color, and simultaneously, I'm going to look at myself and I'm going to believe that because of my skin color, that it's not theirs, that I am inferior or less than or a victim to. These are not good things. Donald Trump did not speak on that at all because he's not articulate whatsoever. Oh, it's insane because it's stupid. He says stuff like that. And then Chris Wallace says racial sensitivity training is stupid. And of course, that was incorrect for Chris Wallace to conflate the two. But Joe Biden is just taking the narrative that his handlers are giving him. Joe Biden doesn't know any of this stuff. Joe Biden, he knows old school racism. Now you can go back and you can look at some of the stuff that he said in Congress. He has said some very racially charged things that, according to the standards of 2020, what he said is absolutely racist. But he comes off looking very much like the innocent, sweet little uniting man. And Trump allowed him to be that way. Trump's behavior was absolutely unacceptable. I cannot stand beside what he did. He should have waited his turn. There were even opportunities where Chris Wallace is the only conservative moderator that Trump is going to have. Trump squandered all of that. There were opportunities where Chris Wallace himself was trying to make Joe Biden look bad by asking him a certain line of questioning. But Trump kept interrupting Chris Wallace so that Chris Wallace couldn't even deliver these questions that would have caught Joe in a couple of things. So Trump looked like an idiot when he said stuff. He looked like an idiot when Biden was saying stuff. He looked like an idiot when Chris Wallace was trying to say anything. It's really bad when, if you are the president and you have to get tut-tutted by the moderator for not knowing how to close your mouth and be respectful when somebody else is talking. There's nothing more infuriating when I'm having a discussion with somebody and they just keep interrupting and they're not listening. If you are wise, if you are intelligent, and if you are articulate, you can be confident in waiting your turn and delivering these death blows. Trump was saying about how Joe Biden he wasn't first in his class, he was last in his class at Delaware State, whatever. Now, this is something that's absolutely true. Joe Biden was caught on camera straight up lying to an entire group of reporters and other academics, saying that he finished first in his class when he was absolutely he finished one of the last people in his class. Later on, he had to come back and he had to acknowledge that and admit it. But when Trump said it, he's throwing it in the form of rude interruptions, like in the form of badgering the witness level of just unacceptable poor manners, to where Joe Biden he just needed to do this. He just needed to do that. And he looked like the victim out of the two. So both of these candidates are trash. That's what I feel like after watching this last night. I feel like I don't know what I'm going to do. There's 2 left. There's 2 more to go. There are 2 more debates. And I sure hope that, for the sake of, I guess, my personal beliefs on the things that matter, such as being honest about things about our country, I feel like when you've got somebody like Donald Trump, you have somebody he's a very untrustworthy person right off the bat to a lot of people. And the way he says things doesn't help that situation. However, I feel like he is the last hope at preserving certain issues that I believe are maintaining some form of integrity in our country, such as he's calling out when the media is saying stuff that is inappropriate or that is deceitful. He's like the last remnant of anything that's doing that. For example, he could have, everything that Joe was talking about were things that were built up by media narrative, such as everything regarding the coronavirus. The coronavirus, Joe Biden built the case against Donald Trump for Donald Trump being racist because 1 in every 1,000 African Americans are dying from coronavirus. This is all something that the media is building up to basically make it all Donald Trump's fault. Now, you can say that Donald Trump was late to the game, but Donald Trump is correct about Joe Biden. Joe Biden was ridiculing Donald Trump when, number 1, when he closed down borders to China, number 2, when he closed down travel to Europe. Joe Biden would have been late on that game. And Joe Biden, we don't know what his strategy would have been. But what we do know is we have what we have. And was Trump good at everything? I don't know if I can say whether he was or not. But what I can say is the CDC's statistics have been changing a lot. As in, like about a month ago, they came out with statistics that showed that 6% of all cases, of all deaths, were directly and only linked to COVID-19 and not all of the other comorbidities. Of all of the deaths, of all of the 200,000 deaths that we have, 6% of them have come directly from COVID-19. Trump, of course, didn't talk about that. He was too busy trying to be a bully. He's missing opportunities to talk about this stuff. So you've got Joe Biden, who is spreading deceitful information regarding coronavirus and then making Donald Trump look racist because of that. And then you've got Trump that's not capitalizing on the moment, saying, Joe, all of your statistics, all of this stuff, it's important to understand that everything that you're saying about racism and these different things, these are things that the media is setting up. And they're portraying this picture while not revealing all of the facts to give us the full accurate picture. So you've got, in one case, you've got 6% are directly COVID. The other thing is, there's no talk whatsoever of the states in which the coronavirus absolutely ravaged everyone. If you take out the East Coast, such as New York and New Jersey, if you take those two states away, our per capita death rate is absolutely comparable to every other civilized country in the world. There were practices that are absolutely ignored by the media, such as patients going from the hospital being sent back into nursing homes, and those patients then infecting everyone in their nursing homes, and thousands of people in nursing homes passing away as a result of bad policies. Those things should be discussed. It should also be discussed that the death rate has come out again for basically anybody under the age of 49. The death rate is, I believe, 0.02%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but seasonal flu is 0.1%. Seasonal flu is either 0.1% or 0.001%. I believe it's 0.1%. That's a very low number, 0.02% death rate for anybody under 49 years old. Above that, it still is pretty freaking low, but it lets you know the population that you can be careful for, the population that you can be concerned about being around and making sure that you're being safe when you're around them. This isn't talked about at all. They're making it sound like it's a huge pandemic. It's a huge pandemic for a certain population of which they were handled very carelessly in a few select states. So we have thousands upon thousands of deaths because of the way that they handled it for that population. These were Democratic-run states that were handled very poorly. So these are all things that Donald Trump could have talked about, but he didn't. I don't know how I feel about, after watching this, I don't know if I can stand in good conscience and vote for that man after the way that he acted on that stage. And it's not to give Joe Biden a pass. Joe Biden is still just as deceitful and also uninformed. He's literally saying the things that his handlers are telling him to say. Joe Biden was, you could see that he was just reciting memorized information. So I'm looking forward to see what happens going forward, and I really hope that both of them can figure this out, because this is not good for our country. Either one of these guys, not good for our country. I was reading some things on Twitter, and they were talking about how we're not sure who won last night, but our country lost. I would say that that's pretty true. The world is watching. The world is laughing at us right now, or they're shaking their heads and they're feeling sorry for us. They're cringing. I saw another one where a guy was saying he's watching through covered eyes. He's doing this. Yeah, it was bad. So we'll see what happens.